Hello and welcome dear students. This is a video for Grammar in Use series, and in this video we are going to explore the simple past tense or the past simple tense. It can be said in both the ways. You are requested to keep a pen and notepad handy so that you can take down the pointers and construct sentences as and well necessary. So let us dive in. The simple past tense. The simple past tense is used to talk about completed actions that has happened at a fixed time but in the past. It is most commonly used as past tense in English. For example, you are always in the present zone of timeline, and when an action has taken place, say certain time in the past, that is known as past tense. We are not considering at some action that has taken place only now and ended. We are considering that with certain duration has passed, that we are considering as the past duration. Now if some action has happened in the past, you just want to mention the action in the simplest form. You may use the regular verb, for example, where ed can be added. For example, the verb wash can be used as past tense with ed added to it. So we have a sample sentence before us. Walter washed his car on Tuesday. Now this is a fixed point of time but in the past. So that is how it is a simple past. Now remember that between the subject and the verb there is no other word, and this verb is with ed or it is in the past tense. Now remember that it is not always the ed form. We will see it later in the video, so kindly make a note of it. The subject and the verb with ed form is just a simple past tense, which is also known as the regular verb in the simple past. Let us see one of the sentence structure, how it is formed. Now most verbs in the past simple do not change with the subject. Over here the subject, the past verb, and the rest of the sentence. Let us see the subject. I, you, he, she, we, and they all take the verb with the ed form. The same form is used for all the pronouns. That is first person pronoun, that is I, we. Second person pronoun is you, and a third person pronoun is he, she, and they. All these will take the simple past that is with an ed. I played tennis yesterday, you played tennis yesterday, he played tennis yesterday, she played tennis yesterday, we played tennis yesterday, they played tennis yesterday. The same form is used for all the subjects. Now let us look at a few examples. Last night I watched, you can see that ed form is the subject, I watched. So looking at these two words only, I can declare that it is in the simple past. I watched a documentary about Italy. Last Friday I danced. I is the subject, and danced is in the past form, so I know it is in simple past. I danced with my friends. Tom usually drives. Now this is not the verb that I am looking at present. This is something that is in the action, the regular action. I usually drives to work, but yesterday, now we have come to the past. Yesterday he walked instead. He is the subject, walked with ed in the past tense, so we have got simple past over here. Heather cleaned her bedroom last weekend before the party. This is a proper noun, and we have the verb with ed, so we have a simple past over here. Tom shaved off his beard yesterday. Tom is a proper noun here, subject, and the verb is in the past tense, so we have simple past tense over here. After work, Nia listened to music, noun and simple past tense. Past tense, so we have simple past over here, and started reading a new book. Now over here you can see that and started is used in the sentence. This is also simple past tense, though the subject is not close to the verb. It is understood Nia started reading a new book, but this is also simple past. Now let us see the next pointer that we have. We have certain pointers for the spelling rules for past simple or simple past tense. The past simple for regular verbs ends in ed. We have seen that example just now. Walk will become walked, wash will become washed, ed is added. But for some verbs, there are some spelling changes too. Now, these spelling changes are for irregular verbs. The verbs, those are not very regular, or these, there are certain words which may have certain different rule for spelling changes. We are not just talking about those that change from go to went. We are talking about certain verbs where only the end, either the it will take e only d added to it, or some change will take place for constructing the past tense. Let us have a look at the example that is before us. Wash is a regular word. It will take ed. For many regular verbs, ed is added. We know this rule so far. Now let us see the what is the example that is before us. dance. Dance is a verb. It ends in e. This e is dance. End syllable is the pronunciation is ending with c, so it's a magic e. It does not sound it over there. Now this is taking only d added to it for its past tense. This is a spelling rule. It has to be accepted as it is. Last letters are a consonant and a y is added. When the verb is such that there's a consonant and a y, what will happen is the y will go away and it will be replaced with I, and then ed will be added to it. The y is removed and ied is added to it. You can put it that way also, or you can say that y changes to I and then ed is added to it. A stressed first syllable ending with consonant vowel consonant, that is CVC rule. Over here, remember that the word stop is a vowel and consonant. When it is a vowel and consonant, what will happen? The vowel will hold the consonant tied to it and also attract one such letter after it. So P is doubled and then ED is added. The last consonant is doubled and ED is added to it. You may think of words and try constructing it yourself. Let us look at a few more words. For example, the word jump. We can see there is a consonant. It is a consonant. So this will not double up. It will just take ed as such. So it's a regular verb. Work will change to worked. Play will change to played. These are all regular verbs. Arrive with a magic e over there. So we just add d to it. Arrived. Save, only d is added. Decide, only d is added. Decided. Carry, where consonant and y is there, so y will change to I and then ed will be added, so ied. Cry, consonant and y will change to I and then ed will be added to it. Hurry, consonant and y will go away, I will take its place and then ed will be added to it. Hurry changes to hurried. Drop, over here we have the CVC rule, that is consonant, vowel and consonant rule. Over here consonant, vowel will hold tight to the consonant and attract another such consonant. So P will double up and then ED will be added to it. The same rule is applied to hop. It becomes double P and then ED is added to it. Hop becomes hopped. Step, vowel is there, that the consonant, so the consonant will double up and then ed will be added to it. Step becomes stepped. Next pointer that we have is irregular verbs in the past simple or the simple past. Some verbs do not take ed to form the past simple. There are no specific rules about how to form irregular verbs in the past tense. For example, the word go. The word go changes to went. It's a complete change of the word. It's not just an internal change of vowel, it's a complete change of the word. This is an irregular verb. I go swimming regularly, and when you say want to say it in the past, in the on a specific time, you say I went swimming yesterday. I went swimming yesterday. Now yesterday is a specific time, that is why we are using went, and went is the past simple of go. I'm in the present time zone and we are talking about yesterday. That is how it is past tense or simple past. Let us see certain irregular verbs and how do they change in the past simple. Go becomes went, have becomes had, do becomes did, put remains as such, it doesn't change. Come, in the word come, there's an internal change of vowel, it becomes came. See, there is an internal change of vowel, double E becomes AW, C becomes saw, and W's added to it. So this is a complete change over here. It's not only the change of vowel, vowel change, double E changes to A, and then W is also added to it. So it's a complete change of word that you can mention, that C changes to saw. Let us explore a few examples. I swam in the 500 meters race. I came to the US in 1980. We saw some rare birds. I did really well in school. Over here, did is the verb, so it is simple past. Steve put his cup on the table. Over here, put is in the simple past tense. Sam ate two pizzas. Ate is past tense, simple past over here. We went to the zoo last week. We went is simple past. They drank all the lemonade. They drank is simple past. They had. They had is simple past. They had a great vacation. Sheila drove to the park. Sheila drove is simple past. Now I mentioned it along with the subject. It is usually the verb that you can underline and mention as the verb is in the simple past tense. Let us look at the next pointer, the be in the simple past or the past simple. The past simple of be is completely irregular. That means it doesn't follow any of the stated rules. It is the only verb in the past simple which changes depending on the subject. Depending on the subject means if the subject is in the first person, I will change to I, or maybe if you were mentioning, say for example, she was, or if you're mentioning they are, that is how the be form is changing. For example, the sentence over here, the traffic was bad. Now was is used for the traffic. The traffic is taken in the singular context. The traffic was bad, so we were late to school. Now were is used because we is taken in the plural context. So that is how the the be form word is changing. We are in the present and we are talking about the past. The traffic was bad, so we were late to school. This is singular with the subject and this is plural with the subject. Let us see the structure, how it is constructed, how to form it. The past simple be changes with the subject. I was late to school, so it will take was. You were, you will go with were only. You were late to school. He and she will take was. He was late to school. She was late to school. They, we and they will take were. We were late to school. They were late to school. Let us see certain examples constructed using this particular rule. The further examples are he was a doctor for 40 years. He was, it is singular, so was is used. She was a Broadway star in the 1960s. She is singular, that is why was is used. There was a party last night. We were at the library yesterday. We is plural, that is why were is used. We were at the library yesterday. There were lots of people at the party. There were the word that goes over with in the plural context. They were at the movies last week. This is also in the plural context. With this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you have liked it. If you liked it, click on like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for your kind attention.